A little while ago, a guy commented on my YouTube video, and he said, "Hey, I've got this new welder from Harbor Freight, and all I wanted to do with it was just do a review, and I don't really have any other use for this welder, so I was wondering if you would want to uh, take this welder off my hands if I could give it to you." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, okay. Well, what kind of welder is it?" So it's a Harbor Freight one, and it's a titanium. What is it? A titanium Flux 125. And I am somewhat familiar with the titanium brand of welders from Harbor Freight. They are a DC welder, and I am used to welding with AC. That's just that was the cheaper welders from Harbor Freight, and at the time that was all I could afford. And I am very, very pleased, and I want to thank. I won't say any names or anything, but you know who you are that sent this welder to me for free. I am very humbled and very, very excited about this thing. I've just been doing so many other things lately. I've had to put I put two sets of tires on two vehicles I have, and 8 new rims, and it's been balancing and putting them on by hand. That's taken up a lot of time, and I also took down 7 trees for the neighbor, 7 spruce trees to add to the log pile. So hopefully at some point, maybe I might purchase a sawmill sometime in the near future. So anyways, let's get back to the welder here, and I will unbox it for you guys. I was looking at Harbor Freight. They do not seem to have this welder anymore, which is weird. At least at the one that I go to, they don't seem to have this welder anymore. All they have are 220-volt welders that are the titanium brand that were at my store. So I don't know, but I'm very excited to have this welder. It's needed. I've thought for a while my 90 amp flux core wire welder, also from Harbor Freight. I thought for a while that has been going out. The fan sounds different. It didn't want to turn on the one time, and I think I put 40 to 50 pounds of welding wire through that machine. So this one will get used when I have a project or something that I need it for. But I figured in this video I would just unbox it for you guys and just kind of go over a few things with it. Just go over a few things. And yes, I couldn't resist. I was in this box already. So I guess I'll give you guys a close-up of the box here. So this is a titanium Flux 125, a TIFLX 125. So it has a rated output of 90 amps at a 30% duty cycle, which my old Harbor Freight welder over there, that one was at 20%, so I have 10% more that I can weld, plus this is a DC, so see the output type there, DC 120 volts, single phase, and 125 output amps. So that's IO, and here's your continuous variable control, over 50% lighter, and it does weigh 15 pounds. I think that welder over there weighs like 25 or 30, so this thing is significantly lighter, which I really, really like. And there's the other side of the box. So the only thing, this does not take a 8-inch 10-pound spool where the other 90 amp welder does. I can fit a 10-pound spool in that one, but I cannot in this one, which is no big deal. I'm just used to buying 10-pound. I buy 2 10-pound spools of welding wire for like 75 bucks, something like that. There's your overload protection right there. There's your continuous control for the heat. So on my old welder, it was either not hot enough or too hot for some steel, so now I can dial this in, and I will not be burning through stuff, or I can still warp things, but not like I would before. 50% lighter DC output. Here's what it includes. a 6-foot cord, which it would be nice if they had a longer one. Again, not really a super big deal because this thing is so light that I can easily just move this thing around. So here's some more specs. If I can get my camera to focus there. 18 gauge to 3/16. And for use on a dedicated 20 amp branch circuit, which is what I have here in the shop. And here's the other side, pretty much same as the other. Yeah, something I think that would be neat to do is to frame these boxes. Frame it and put it up on the wall. Harbor Freight kind of puts a lot of money into the advertising and stuff, and I think it looks pretty neat. I think I even still have the old box for my 90 amp one, so let's unbox this thing. The gentleman that sent me this thing, he didn't even want me to pay for shipping. I offered to pay for the welder, and he wouldn't take any money for it. So again, I want to thank you very, very much for sending me this welder. That was very nice of you and very cool. It was needed. That other one was kind of on its way out, but I'm the type of person that if it's not broken, I'm not going to replace it or fix it or upgrade or anything. I'm going to run it till I can't run it anymore, and then I'll upgrade. So here's the manual and stuff. He also gave me an extra spool. So I guess I'll open up the manual here a little bit. So this is just kind of a sheet here for telling you a little bit about the welder itself. Pretty standard stuff. And here is also a chart, if I can get it oriented right. So this is what your welds are supposed to look like. So this is a good weld. So voltage or wire feed too slow. Voltage or wire speed too high. Welding too fast, you have a thin weld. Welding too slow, you have a thick weld. And the CTWD, that's contact tip to work distance or something like that. But they only want a 1/2 inch, so this is what your welds are supposed to look like. And let's just unbox this thing. So it comes with a carry strap. Harbor Freight should... my other welder has a nice carry handle on the top, and this one just has a strap, which is no big deal. It'll work. It's something for me to get used to. And here's the welder itself. You can see this thing, I mean, it's got some weight to it, but it's not very heavy. And it's a cute little welder. So these are your contact tips, and these are the nozzles. So the other welder I have has MIG welding cones, I guess is what they call them, on it, and this one does not, which I like because you can actually see what you're welding. So that's a big improvement there. A lot of people have been talking about that. And here she is. I think I can pick it up from here. So there she is. So Harbor Freight has pretty much always put this style of ground clamp on their welders, and they work. They're not the greatest though, so I will also probably replace. I did this on my other welder, and just replace it with this one that has a nice copper. I don't even know what this is called, but it's got a much stronger spring to it, and it should work pretty good. But this one will work too. So here is the flex core gun itself. There's your press the button there, and this is what I was talking about, that little cone thing. The old ones had a copper tip, and it was much fatter the whole way up. It wasn't thinned down like this is. Now another thing that I recommend anyone that is going to weld, I'll have to show you it here. So what will happen when you weld, this contact tip will get all covered in dirt and stuff, just welding spatter and all sorts of, whatever you're welding, paint and stuff like that, and it'll accumulate on here, probably not as much as the other one. But what I recommend anyone that flux core wire welds, you need to get yourself some nozzle gel. This is by Hobart nozzle gel. I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks for this whole thing. This thing will last me a long time. But you're supposed to dip it in here and then weld and periodically clean the tip with I don't know, a rag or paper towel or something, and then re-dip it back in here with it hot, because then it'll melt in. So this is the old style gun that they have from Harbor Freight. This is the exact same thing as what is on my 90 amp welder. And last but not least, here's the cord. So pretty standard stuff there, and we'll look at the front of the welder next. Here's what the front of the welder looks like. So there's your power light, and this is the over temp. So the infinitely variable, and it appears that, so this is your voltage. So you have from A the whole way over to J, which is fine. And then this is for your wire speed. You have 1 to 10. And again, this is a DC welder, not AC. So the welds will be much cleaner. I like the strain relief that they have on this thing. This is pretty nice. And I've actually never plugged this thing in yet, so we will plug this thing in pretty soon. So let's open up the top here, the lid, and I'll show you guys inside there. So you just have a little latch here, and that opens up. And I do like the green. The green on this thing is pretty neat. It looks a lot better on in real life than it does on camera here. But here's your 4-inch spool, a pretty standard feed system and stuff. And here is there's a sticker up here I also want to show you guys. You guys can pause the video and look over all of this stuff. This is a pretty sharp looking welder. Here's another sticker on the, I guess it'd be the left side of the welder. You guys can pause the video again if you wanted to read that. So another thing, you're like, oh, where's the power button? Power button is actually on the back of this machine. It is not on the front. And a big warning sticker right there. So I'm not going to do any welding in this video. This is just the unboxing. And just for the heck of it, why don't I turn this thing on? Well, she's all plugged in. And let's hit the button here and see what happens. Whoa, look at that. Hopefully you guys can hear the fan. And it is blowing. Yeah, there's air coming out. It's definitely working. There is a delay. There is a delay when you turn the welder on, which is no big deal. So that's it really slow. That's the wire feed speed on 1. And I guess I'll turn it up to 10 here. Pretty standard stuff. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this video. And if you would, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And hopefully we will see you all in the next one. The project I want to use this for next is, those of you that have watched my channel before, we have an Allis Chalmers. It's a 1959 Allis Chalmers D17. It's a narrow front. And there's nothing to hook to on the front of it in the event that I get that tractor stuck. So I want to build a pull bumper for it. I have some, I'll see if I can use some leaf springs that my brother took off, some old leaf springs that he took off his truck, and I want to use those for kind of where the grill is. And then I also have this thick piece of square channel iron that it's pretty thick stuff, and I think it'd be perfect for the bumper, you know, just kind of a bumper going around it. And then I also have somewhere around here, I have a D-ring that I will weld to the front of it so that I can pull this tractor in the event that I get it stuck. So this little welder is what I plan on using. None of that steel is over 3/16 of an inch thick, so that welder there should be able to weld it just fine. And I've welded way thicker stuff with my other Harbor Freight welder over there, and really nothing's broken. Knock on wood around here, but hope everyone enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and hopefully we will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.